Cardinals win it yesterday. Now they go into this Week 14 bye week. Only they and the Commanders have a bye week left. And it's
Commanders!
Right now. So the Cardinals are going to that. They got 4 games left coming out of it. It's no secret how important this stretch is in terms of evaluating Kyler Murray, Wolf, and I understand internally it may be a little bit different than how we all look at it from outside the organization. But, man, I said this to you before the show. I think the last time I felt this good about Kyler, specifically after any one game, was probably the Raiders game early last season. Wow. And it's not like his numbers were amazing in that game, but he obviously had the couple plays late that were just like nobody else on the planet makes those plays.
Yeah.
Yesterday was totally different. It wasn't like he made some electrifying plays, but he just stuck with it. He didn't get rattled. That positive attitude, that newer positive, more positive attitude that seems to be there off the field was there on the field too when things were tough early. And that's an impressive win yesterday. There's no way to cut it other than that. No,
you're right, Luke. I would agree with that, especially once again when you're 2-10 and you consider all of the mentals going into this game. Based on the Steelers were playing for something and are still playing for something right now. The Arizona Cardinals are 2-10 going into their bye week after this game. On the road against a playoff caliber team in the Pittsburgh Steelers, on the road, a rain delay, really a lightning delay, not once, but twice. You're the road team, you're 2-10, you have 2 significant delays, which never happens in the National Football League. You play through inclement weather. That's what you do, unless there are lightning strikes. And that's what's happening. And somehow, some way, you find a way to win this game? Oh, man. Kyler Murray played through a lot of adversity, especially to start this game. A lot of adversity. And you know what? He walked through that adversity. And I absolutely loved it.
Which has been a criticism of his in the past. You know, there are quarterbacks out there that you just kind of get used to them winning you some ugly games. And their numbers might not be great, but they just keep winning. And it's kind of been the opposite for Kyler, where it's like if he's on and they're putting up numbers and he's running wild and he's chucking the ball down the field, you know, now I'm talking about a couple years ago, obviously, then he's good. But when there's adversity, especially early in the game, the concern was, like, how does he bounce back from that, right? I mean, he's dealing with Highsmith and T.J. Watt, it felt like, for the entire first half yesterday. It didn't matter. He comes back. And the Cardinals come back. It wasn't just him. Obviously, James Conner was huge in this. Trey McBride, we'll talk about them in a little bit. But you know Trey McBride's on this team next year and going forward. Kyler Murray is – and it's going to be close. It's going to be really tough, I'm sure, for them to figure this out if they don't already have sort of an idea of what they want, Wolf. Because if you just look at Kyler Murray's numbers through his first 4 games back, it's not amazing. 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. A quarterback rating of 81.7. He hasn't rushed for all that many yards. He had 7 carries for 51 yards against Houston. Does have 3 rushing touchdowns, but if you're just looking at the numbers, and they obviously aren't, they're fine. But now you don't have a top 2 pick right now. And I don't know about you, but the Cardinals look a lot better to me than the Patriots and the Panthers, who right now are in those top 2 spots. So you may not have a top 2 pick, and Kyler Murray is the simple fact that he could win that game yesterday makes him better than half the quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah. Once again, I can't get over the adversity. My number one takeaway, Basinonians, is what Kyler Murray walked through. He didn't flail his way through it. He didn't throw his arms up and make all these gesticulations. He walked through adversity. And I love it, man. Got off to a slow start. 1 of 5. Would you say that's a slow start?
It's not great.
1 of 5 right there? Yeah. Didn't look good. His first 5 passes. He came from behind. They got down. Now, I realize it was 3 points, but still, played from behind. He got better as the weather worsened. Okay? I know, by the way, he orchestrated and executed a 15-play drive that covered 99 yards and gave the Cardinals a lead going into the half.
You don't often see a 99-yard drive with 2 touchdowns at the end of it, but they pulled that off yesterday.
He beat the number 5 scoring defense in the league. That's what he did. Number 5. Number 7 defensive quarterback rated team in the league. He beat them. He did not turn the ball over, which they're the best in the league at turning quarterbacks over. He didn't turn it over. And oh, by the way, he orchestrated and executed 3 red zone possessions against one of the best red zone defenses in the National Football League. Elite at number 5. 3 for 3 touchdowns.
Something he specifically referenced after last week's game that they had to do.
You're right.
You get in the red zone, and then you get in the end zone. And I'll go back to something we talked about last week where the Steelers, in some ways, at least to me, were kind of the perfect opponent right now for the Cardinals for if you're evaluating Kyler Murray. Because to me, Wolf, if Kyler Murray is going to be the guy you want him to be, no matter how good the defense is, he can get you a little bit. You know, it's not like they put up 40 yesterday, but they put up like that. That to me is Kyler Murray not at his best, but like trending towards his best. If you keep him around, one of the qualities I think you would have with him is no matter who you're playing, the Rams notwithstanding for some reason, the hope is that he can get you 20 to 24 points. And so against a team like Pittsburgh, if you do that, you're probably going to get the win, and they did yesterday. And I think it's important for this team to get some wins and get rewarded for some of the work they're putting in.
Yeah. The Pittsburgh Steelers, once again, 7-4 going into yesterday's game right there. 7-4, they had won 3 of 4. And their defense, they were winning games by their defense just being better than offenses for the most part. That and the fact that the last 3 games, go back and look at it, going into yesterday's game against the Cardinals, Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren and the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line, they had found themselves in terms of rushing the football. Remember, Mike Tomlin demands what, Basinonians? We're going to be a physical team. We're going to be physical or I'm not coaching, period. Or you're not going to be here. That's a better way of saying it.
That's probably what it's going to be. I'm not coaching you.
I'm not coaching you. That's right, Luke. That is a good safety tip right there. That is who Mike Tomlin is. And that's why it was so impressive to see the Arizona Cardinals be more physical than the Pittsburgh Steelers. When, again, 2-10, going into the bye week, thinking about, I wonder what we're going to do over at Disneyland as they take the kids and the family over there. I wonder what we're going to do hanging out there in Cabo or whatever it might be that you have coming up in a 2-10 season. And somehow, some way, you were able to focus, not through 1 rain delay, but 2, and still go out and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers at their own game in their stadium. Yeah, man. I'm digging that chili.
You think anybody's going to do your Cabo to Amish country trip over the bye week?
No, I don't think that's going to happen.
Rarely duplicated.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.